Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah is the new president of Namibia. And you know what's also somewhat exciting? She's now, at the moment, serving, or now will be serving, as the second and the only two African female presidents. But at the moment, she's the only first elected female president of Namibia. This is the first time Namibia is having a woman as their president, and we're happy about this. However, I hope, we are not being happy because she's a woman, I hope she can deliver for the people, because that's the most critical thing. It's not about being a woman. Gender is no big deal when you're looking for a leader. What matters is if that leader is able to deliver to the people. So for the people of Namibia, congratulations. We wish you the very best, and we actually hope that the person you voted for will transform your nation to what your dream is, yeah? So she won the election with 50% of the votes that were cast. And as I said, she becomes the second female president. But during this season, they only elected, because remember, the other lady who's also leading an African nation is Tanzania's Samia Suluhu. However, Samia has not been elected. Her president, she ascended into power when former President John Pombe Magufuli passed on. So with their constitution, she had to take over. And Tanzania is actually going to elections soon. So hopefully, I don't know, I can't speak for Tanzania as yet, but let's wait and see if she will be elected as a president, or the people of Tanzania will choose someone else. I don't know, can't speak as yet. So Netumbo Nandi, you know, it's very interesting, someone is called Nandi. You know, in Kenya, Nandi is a place, yeah? So now I have to put it in mind, I'm speaking about someone. So Netumbo Nandi was born on 29th October 1952. That makes her 72 years. She garnered 57% of the total votes. And it was a tight, contested election. Even with the announcement, the opposition have said that was not, the results were fake, and there was a lot of rigging, according to opposition. But as it is, she's the elect president. So President Nandi-Ndaitwah now follows in the footsteps of Liberia's Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. If you remember, Liberia had Ellen Sirleaf as a president. She made history when she became the continent's, actually Liberia had the first female president across Africa. So that was in 2005. She made good leadership for that country for sure. Malawi's Joyce Banda and Catherine Samba-Panza of the Central African Republic. So basically, Africa has had these three, Ellen Johnson, Malawi's Joyce Banda, Catherine Samba-Panza of Central Africa Republic, Samia Suluhu of Tanzania, and now President Nandi. Interesting. So now she joins. Now they have an exclusive, you know, like there you have a WhatsApp group of the people who work in the same company, people who, presidents across Africa. Imagine now they can't even form a group as women because they are just two. So let's talk, the two of us. Like, how are you leading Tanzania? How is it coming along? I hope, anyway, the executive club does more good than harm to the nations and changes the countries to what the people envision. So Nandi has been serving as Namibia's vice president since February this year, and she's the third vice president of Namibia. Previously, she served as the deputy prime minister of Namibia from 2015 to 2024. She's also, she's made several firsts. She's also Swapo, which is the party that she won on, the first female presidential candidate. So it's the first time they fronted a woman to run, and she did. She also served as Namibia's Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Environment, Tourism, and a long-time member of the National Assembly through Swapo, which is, again, Namibia's longest ruling party. Like, this party has just been the it in Namibia. So in 2017, she was elected vice president of Swapo Party at its 6th Congress, and here she was also, again, the first woman to serve in that position. Swapo Party has led the country since independence from apartheid, South Africa in 1990. Now, for those people who may not know, I'll give you a brief. This country was part of South Africa during colonization. So that's why we are saying since they got their independence from the greater South Africa. So Nandi promised to create more jobs and tackle the 20% unemployment rate for young people and graduates, which I feel is a problem across the globe. And even if you look at it across Africa, it's a major problem. In Kenya, I think we are at 60% of unemployment. So these are things that are facing any person getting into leadership now should be very critical and very thoughtful of how this mess of unemployment is going to be sorted. Otherwise, you will get into power and face what the South Korean guy is facing, impeachment charges and things like that. And you end up having laws and calling the people criminals or thinking people are against you because they hate you, when basically people are just fighting for a better nation and for better livelihoods for themselves. So she has also pledged to spend approximately 85 billion Namibian dollars, that's about 4.7 billion of dollars over the next 5 years to create more than 500,000 jobs. A goal that also critics are saying is a bit unrealistic. That's why I'm saying for anyone going to leadership at the moment, you have to think hard of how to create employment, because it's a major issue across. So the issues that are affecting women, including reproductive rights, equal pay, and healthcare, are also likely to rank her for the votes, because these are things she made promises on. So these are the things people are looking at and saying might have been the things that led her to that position. So her party, totally dominant for 3 decades, saw a large drop in its support in the last general election, not this one, the previous one, and it had dived, actually. So with that diving and her getting elected, I don't know if it's hope with the same party or it's, as opposition are saying, it is rigging. I can't speak for that. But I actually wish this lady the very best, because if she's able to change the country, then it will be for the better of everyone in that nation. So the employment rate, I said, is like at 20%. So, and people say this is almost the same as it was 30 years ago. Like, imagine 30 years ago, unemployment was at 19%. 2024, it's at 20%. Like, then what is the leadership doing? You know, sometimes when you get into leadership, I keep questioning, why would you be into leadership and not change things? Like, you just want to be there and call the president or the prime minister or whatever, and then do nothing for the people. Really? Like, what's the value? That's a wasted opportunity of service. So the government is troubled financially, the government of Namibia, and questions about corruption and high levels of inequality arise. Again, these are issues that I've seen people demonstrate in Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, I think Ghana. Like, I feel like Africa, we have the same problems. I mean, we've seen them even outside the continent, but for Africa, I feel like our problems are sort of so close because we understand each other and we understand how bad leadership has gotten us here, yeah? And it's basically bad leadership across. And maybe I feel now when people are getting enlightened and maybe making better choices in terms of leadership. So I hope we can keep doing that, getting better leadership that really has the interests of the people at heart, because that's the only way nations will change. So Nandi was up there against traditional male-dominated political culture in the country, and she's known for her hands-on pragmatic style of leadership. The vice president is also fiercely loyal to the Swapo party, so which she joined as a teenager. So you can imagine at what age, like I think she joined when she was 14. So she's been in this party for life, and the party has seen her rise to presidency, which is interesting. And when she was asked how she would succeed, she said, "I have always believed in teamwork. That is what made me achieve what I achieved." She became part of the movement that was resisting rule from South Africa. I had mentioned this to you at the age of 14. So, I mean, during colonialism was bad that it made people fight for their rights as kids. Imagine a kid at 14 knowing they need to resist the West so that they can get their freedom. So South Africa had governed the country then, and by then it was known as Southwest Africa. And since the end of the World War I, and later introduced the racist system of apartheid, all this time, Namibia was part of South Africa. So in the late 1800s, Germany took control of Namibia and called the area Southwest Africa. After World War I, South Africa was given a League of Nations mandate, which was to administer this particular territory. And South Africa imposed apartheid in the territory and treated it as their 5th province. And Namibia gained independence on March 21st, 1990, after they fought for it. So after that independence, the first president to be sworn in for Namibia was called Sam Nujoma, when in 1990s, when he was sworn in as president after they managed to fight for their space. So Nandi-Ndaitwah has been recognized. That name actually sounds like a cow name. Wakamba, is it true? Am I right? Do you have a name? Do you have a name like Ndaitwah? So Nandi-Ndaitwah has been recognized for her tenacity and organizational talent as a leader of Swapo Youth League, which became a stepping stone for her for her political career. As the first woman who's now becoming the country's president, she basically carries the hope of some women who want a change from the patriarchal society. I mean, Africa is largely patriarchal, so a lot of women in these countries across, even in Kenya, will look forwards to leadership that can create more spaces for them. And I hope she will do good for that. And also, she's now the most trusted to handle on issues such as youth unemployment, corruption, healthcare, education, all these other things. She's expected that this will happen without having to sell off the country's vast natural resources to foreign bidders, such as the offshore gas, as well as lithium and other essential metals. So I am hoping that Nandi will do the best for Namibia, transform the country, not just for self, but for posterity of the nation, yeah? So we wish you the very best, President Nandi-Ndaitwah, and we hope you do the best for your country. The people of Namibia, all the best. We are watching you. And you can wish them congratulations on the comment section. And you can also share with us issues or the stories that you know about the lady that we missed out that maybe we can talk about in the comment section. Thank you for watching. See you on the next episodes.